democracy and development, says Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, exchanging views with foreign observers. President congratulates Awami League President and Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina on absolute victory of Awami League-led Grand Alliance. Chinese, Indian and other world leaders greet Sheikh Hasina. People across life congratulate Sheikh Hasina on Awami League's historic victory in 11th Parliament elections, another victory in December. Says Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. 80% vote on average cast in 11th Parliament elections, says CEC Nurul Huda. International media highlight Awami League's record majority. Obaidul Qadir urges partymen to refrain from vendetta on opposition and victory celebration. "2019 begins tomorrow with new aspirations as 2018 going down in history in few hours." And deadly storm and landslide kill 68 in Philippines. Assalamu alaikum. This is News at 10 on BTV. BTV World and BTV Chattogram Center. I'm Anik Hamreen, and joining me tonight is...
I'm Imtiaz Ahmed Siddiqui. Welcome you once again. Just heard the headlines. Moving on to the details of those and other stories. Prime Minister and Awami League's President Sheikh Hasina said their position was in a state of wilderness that caused their debacle in the Sunday's elections, while she would discharge her responsibility as the Premier of all during her upcoming 5-year tenure. It was a credible and transparent election, but BNP's debacle in the polls was caused by their own faults and weaknesses, she said. The Premier said in an interaction with foreign journalists at her official Gonobabon residence, which was joined as well by overseas poll observers. Sheikh Hasina identified BNP's leadership vacuum as their prime weakness, as the party chairperson Khaleda Zia was serving a prison term on graft charges, while acting BNP chief fugitive Tariq Rahman was staying abroad to evade a life-term imprisonment for masterminding the deadly 2004 grenade attack. She said the opposition fielded 4 to 5 candidates in every constituency in exchange of money, exposing the people to a state of confusion about the actual BNP candidature, while many of them were unknown to ordinary voters. The Prime Minister, however, said her Awami League-led Grand Alliance largely won the polls in view of the benefit her government could offer them for the past 10 years, cutting down the poverty rate, improving their financial condition and enhancing the GDP. About the priority of her next government, the Awami League president said she would complete all the development projects which was undertaken earlier in the next 5 years. One of the most important tasks of the government will be ensuring safety and security of the country's people, she said. President Mohammad Abdul Hamid greeted Awami League President and Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina over her landslide victory in the 11th Jatiyo সংসদ election held yesterday. He said this in a message to the Prime Minister. On behalf of the President, his Secretary Shampod Borua, Military Secretary Major General Muhammad Sarwar Hussain and Press Secretary Muhammad Jainal Abidin handed over the message to the Prime Minister at her Gonobhavan residence this afternoon. The head of the state said the 11th Jatiyo সংসদ polls will become a milestone in the history of democracy and development in Bangladesh. On his message, the President said the election is the obvious reflection of people's opinion against communalism, terrorism and militancy, as well as in favor of independence, liberation, struggle and development progress. He said he would like to express his gratitude and warm congratulations to the Prime Minister for the landslide victory in the 11th parliamentary polls. He is congratulating all countrymen, including the elected people, he added. The President expresses hope that the country will be established as a developed Shonar Bangla in line with Bangabandhu's dream, being imbued with the spirit of liberation war. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi phoned Premier and Awami League President Sheikh Hasina and extended his heartfelt congratulations to her on securing her party's absolute majority in the 11th parliamentary elections. The Indian Premier phoned Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina this morning and congratulated her, the Awami League and the people of Bangladesh on securing her party's absolute majority in the national elections held on Sunday. Moreover, Modi said the victory of Awami League in the polls is a reflection of a stunning development that Bangladesh attained under the Prime Minister's dynamic leadership. The Indian Prime Minister assured that his country will continue to support Bangladesh's development efforts like the past. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina also greeted Narendra Modi and the people of his country. Chinese President Xi Jinping and Prime Minister Li Keqiang have extended their heartfelt congratulations to Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina on securing her party's absolute majority in the 11th parliamentary elections. Chinese ambassador in Dhaka, Zhang Zuo, handed over the congratulatory messages to Sheikh Hasina at Gonobhavan today. The ambassador highly appreciated Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's leadership for development of Bangladesh and hoped that her Vision 2021 will be materialized and the country will be turned into a middle-income country by 2021 under her dynamic leadership. Briefing the newsman, Press Secretary Sanul Karim said during the call-on, Zhang Zuo also hoped that Bangladesh will be able to bring down poverty rate to zero soon due to the far-sighted programs of Bangladesh Prime Minister. At the meeting, the Prime Minister thanked the Chinese President and Premier for congratulating her and appreciated continued support of Beijing for the development of Bangladesh. Bangabandhu's younger daughter Sheikh Rehana and Sheikh Hasina's daughter Saima Wajid Hussain were present among others. Meanwhile, Prime Minister of Bhutan Lote Tshering, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee and Chief Minister of Tripura Biplobi Kumar Deb also greeted Sheikh Hasina on re-election of her party with a solid majority in the national polls.
Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has said the win of the Awami League-led Grand Alliance in yesterday's national election is another victory of the countrymen in December, the month of victory. The Prime Minister came up with the remarks when political leaders as well as senior officials of civil and military administration greeted her at Gonobhoban this morning, marking re-election of her party with absolute majority in the national polls. Sheikh Hasina said the victory is nothing to her for personal gains, rather it is a great responsibility towards the country and its people. The Prime Minister said she thinks her re-election as a great opportunity to serve the country and materialize dreams of Father of the Nation Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman through completing his unfinished tasks. The Awami League president also extended her greetings to the countrymen on the occasion of the New Year 2019. At the function, the leaders and officials greeted Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina by presenting flower bouquets to her. The political leaders and government officials include Home Minister Asad Khan, Prime Minister's advisors Dr. Tawfiq Elahi Chaudhry and Iqbal Subhan Chaudhry, Cabinet Secretary M. Shafiul Alam, Chiefs of the Three Services, Principal Secretary M. Nazibur Rahman, President of Bangladesh Administrative Service Association Information Secretary Abdul Malik, Press Secretary Isanul Kareem, IGP and BGB and RAB Director Generals. Prime Minister's younger sister Sheikh Rehana and Prime Minister's daughter Sana Wazir Hussain were present on the occasion. Chief Election Commissioner K.M. Nurul Huda has expressed his satisfaction over the 11th Jatiya Shangshud elections and said some 80% votes were cast in the December 30 polls. The CEC said this at a press conference at the Nirvachan Bhavan in the capital today. Election Commissioners Mahbub Talukdar, Mohammad Rafiqul Islam, Brigadier General retired Shadat Hussain Chaudhry, Begum Bobita Khanum and EC Secretary Hilaluddin Ahmed among others were present. K.M. Nurul Huda said the whole nation has celebrated the polls day in a festive mood, saying that not only the local media but also the foreign media highlighted the news of the 11th Parliament polls. The CEC said the government took all the necessary steps in order to make the elections free, fair and violence-free. Replying to a query on Oikofront's demand for re-election, the CEC said there is no scope to hold the election again. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's landslide victory in 11th Parliament election got priority in global media. BBC published Bangladesh election news with importance. It made headlines saying Bangladesh election, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina win for new term. The Guardian said Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's unprecedented win in Bangladesh election. Reuters said Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's big win. AFP said Sheikh Hasina's historic win for the fourth term. Al Jazeera made headlines stating Sheikh Hasina's win in Bangladesh election. Anand Bazar of India says unbelievable BNP Jamaat swept away by Awami flood history in Bangladesh. NDTV and C News also aired news of Sheikh Hasina's victory in election with great importance. The Dawn of Pakistan headlined Sheikh Hasina's absolute majority ensured in Bangladesh. Besides, various online media published a photograph of Sheikh Hasina with the victory sign. International observers have termed the 11th Parliament election as free, fair and of international standard, which is acceptable to all. Observers of OIC, Canada, Sri Lanka, Nepal and India expressed satisfaction over the election at press conference in the capital.
I talked to many voters and they expressed their confidence in the election process and felt that things were running smoothly, and everything that I saw in Dhaka was very peaceful, as has already been mentioned, and was very well organized, and the number of security officers on the ground was enough that, you know, there were no incidents that I witnessed at all.
Yesterday, which I see the environment in this Dhaka, really I am very happy. All environment was good. All people there were happy, and there was not any disturb to vote.
And I also observed a very nice thing that every room has been categorized for about 500 voters with 7 to 8 observers there, that is officers there. So which made people very much convenient to vote in a good manner, in a peaceful manner and within the time frame. So, and also in some areas I noticed 10 to 15,000 voters were allocated in a school, in a college, and there were different rooms, and each person, each officer was given about 2,500 to 3,000 people under his care. So now this way we found the election being held in a very good manner, and I can assure this and I can confirm this by looking at the past of the elections held in Bangladesh. This was the most peaceful election held in the history of Bangladesh as what I have seen from the past.
Very happy. We took some pictures even with the voters, and the atmosphere was peaceful, and I think people were enthusiastic, and that is what is important.
And now international news. More than 68 people have died after a powerful storm struck the Philippines, with locals reportedly taken by surprise by its strength. Storm Usman hit the Bicol region southeast of capital Manila on Saturday. At least 17 people are missing and the death toll is expected to rise. Bicol Civil Defense Director said that people failed to take necessary precautions because Usman was not strong enough to be rated as a typhoon under the government's storm alert system. Although the storm did not have strong winds, it brought heavy rains which triggered deadly landslides. The tropical depression has destroyed infrastructure and displaced more than 40,000 people nationwide. The UK and France are to step up joint patrols and increase surveillance to tackle a rise in the number of migrants trying to reach Britain in small boats. Home Secretary of Britain agreed a joint action plan with the French Interior Minister during a phone call. The Home Office did not give details of how this would be done. Meanwhile, a group of migrants has been detained close to Kent Beach after they are understood to have crossed the English Channel in an inflatable boat. Since November, more than 220 people have attempted to cross the channel in small boats. North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un has vowed to frequently meet South Korea's President Moon Jae-in next year to discuss denuclearization. In a rare letter to Seoul, Kim said he wished to pursue peace between the countries and solve the issue of denuclearizing the peninsula together, a spokesman from Moon said. Kim also expressed much regret that he could not visit Seoul in 2018. He promised to make the trip after Moon visited Pyongyang in September.
The nation bids adieu to outgoing year 2018, forgetting all odds and sorrows of the past and welcoming 2019 with new hopes at midnight tonight through different programs along with the global community. Jubilant people, particularly the youngsters, will join different New Year programs when the clock strikes 12 midnight. The landslide victory of Awami League in the 11th Jatiyo সংসদ election is expected to add new zeal to the New Year celebration across the country. Dazzling light shows will bid adieu to 2018. On this special occasion, people have already conveyed their best wishes to their friends and beloved ones through greeting cards and using different messaging applications and social media platforms. Today is also a moment of looking back to the outgoing year for reviewing the successes and failures and planning strategies to reach new goals for the new year. With accomplishing the unfinished tasks, those need to be done in the upcoming days. Marking the day, Dhaka Metropolitan Police has drawn up multi-tiered security measures. It bans holding of any program at open spaces for the sake of overall security and law and order. In separate messages, President Mohammad Abdul Hamid and Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina greeted the countrymen on the eve of New Year 2019. The National Textbook Festival will be celebrated at all primary and secondary level educational institutions tomorrow across the country. Education Minister Nurul Islam Nahid will formally inaugurate the textbook distribution festival tomorrow morning at Azipur Government High Schools and College as part of the nationwide program. As many as 35 crore 21 lakh 97 1,882 free textbooks would be distributed among 4 crore 26 lakh 19,865 primary and secondary level students tomorrow across the country in the academic year 2019. Distribution of free textbooks started since 2011 at both primary and secondary level. Awami League General Secretary Wadul Qadir has called upon the leaders and workers